Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the 808 podcast where I interview business owners, CEOs, whoever else I feel like. It is 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds because 808 looks like Bob, and here we go. Question number 1 in a few sentences. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
Bob, so Mike Castiglione, owner of Sandler Training out here in Los Angeles. And I've got the cure for sales cancer. So I work with business professionals on 3 things. What behaviors they need to do every day, week, month to make sure that they're ensuring growth. Number 2, the attitudes. When you have your own business or if you're in sales, there's a lot of limited beliefs. So we address attitude. And number 3, techniques. It's 2021. No one wants to be sold. So learning how to ask much better questions, learning about your prospects, and more importantly, qualifying or disqualifying.
Absolutely. Disqualifying is very important. Question number 2, what advice do you want to share? Go for it.
So I always recommend that you care for your clients. So CARE is an acronym, K-A-R-E. So first and foremost, you want to have a plan. You want to have these written out. Each and every day, you want to do one for each of these letters. So what are you doing to keep your clients? So keeping your clients, you may set up quarterly reviews, quarterly connections, conversations to make sure that you can do 3 things. First and foremost, asking them the positive, right? What have we done well? Let's talk about it. So asking good questions, what's worked over the last couple of months. Number 2, what can be improved? If you don't ask questions about feedback, you don't ever hear them until it's a crisis. And then number 3 is learning more about what their challenges are. I hate the terms upsell, cross-sell. They're sneaky, they're sleazy. But if you really care and you ask them, what's going on, what other challenges you have, you can start to learn, all right, we can further our support for you. So first and foremost, what are you doing to keep your clients? Number 2, attain. So prospecting is the lifeblood of all business. So are you making cold calls? Are you networking? Do you have a concrete plan to move forward? I know that's kind of generic, but we could talk about that in a little more in depth.
Well, let me ask you on that part there. Like, what do you like? How do you cold call? Like, what is your strategy? How do you get the list? Like, give me some cold calling strategies.
So first and foremost, having a list is important. So I like to buy my list. I use Zoom Info. Many people who are listening have probably heard of it. You have so much data. And then number 2, I like to fine tune it down to about 100 people for a month. And then I create a cadence off of that. So my cadence is first and foremost email, then call with a voicemail, email again, and the second email is just following up, call again, LinkedIn connection, if I can find them and it makes sense, and then a final statement, which is sent you a couple messages, haven't heard back, probably not interested, I'll take you off our list. So I kind of close it out. 100 people a month. So I go through that cadence.
Right. My last message is usually, did I piss in your Wheaties? And that actually works really well for me.
You got to be different, right? You have to do a pattern interrupt. Stop being that sneaky, sleazy, boring person. If your competition's doing it, do something different.
Right. Do something to make you stand out a little bit.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with having fun. Let's remember, why did you do this in the first place? Let's have some fun when we're doing it. We get so stressed and we get so anxious about what people are going to think and we're scared of the no. Have fun. That's why we do this.
Right. Yeah, that's the big thing is if you're doing cold calling, you can't care about the results. You just got to care about the numbers.
Exactly. You got to have that, again, goes back to the attitude, is I got a solution. And I know that every single person I can't help, I don't need to help everybody. And some people don't need to have a solution for me. So you got to have that mentality.
Perfect. And what was the next one?
Recapture. So K-A-R. So recapture. Who have you worked with in the past that have just you stopped working with? Pick up the phone, ask them 3 questions. And again, don't say, how are you doing? That's a lazy question. Ask what's changed in your business. What's a priority right now for you? What are you currently working on? Those are 3 questions that show a little bit more savvy, a little bit more, I actually care about it. And not, hey, how you doing? I ask that to strangers when I walk past them on the street.
Right.
So what are you doing to recapture and then expand? So that goes back to the first part of keeping. Are you growing internally? So are you asking for referrals? Are you finishing every conversation with someone that you're currently working with? Or when you get a no, does it make, now that I got a no, or now that I learned more about what we're doing, is there anyone in your world I should connect with or that can benefit from a conversation with me?
Right.
What are you doing to expand your business internal to their organization, maybe in a different department, different organization? So if you're caring for your clients, you'll always be growing, and that's guaranteed success.
Perfect. Love it there. Let's get to question number 3. So what other top CEOs, business owners, or influencers that you know that are successful just like you that you want to give a shout out to?
So first and foremost, I'm going to give a shout out to my colleague, Suzette Patterson. Her and I connect every single week, and Mike Gordon, him and I connect every week, and just 2 other Sandler trainers that, as we continue to work together, it's all about collaborating and learning from each other. So give a shout out to those 2.
Perfect. I'll look them up there. Number 4, final fun question. Michael, tell me about your first sale.
So I'm going to give you the first sale in Sandler, and
I'll allow it.
It came on, I had 2 sales on the same day, and then I had a drought for about 2 months. So the reason I say that is it was so exciting to get a sale that my lesson to everybody is, first and foremost, enjoy it. But number 2, go back to prospecting and go back to that formula we talked about, caring. Because if you're not continuously reaching out, you're not continuously growing, gaps will happen.
Right.
So that ebbs and flows of sales tends to be a flat line. Times are good, times are bad, but it's flat line. But if you always are prospecting, you're always having your plans, it doesn't have to be 100 dials a day, but your growth will be exponential. And don't just rely on referrals. I know that referrals is number 1 form for business growth, but what are you doing different? What are you doing to be better and continuing to grow? Because with that mentality, you'll continue to expand throughout, and then you'll be able to say no to those at-bats that maybe aren't the most qualified professionals.
Right. See, I tell people referrals are like trees. People who refer to you, they're like trees. There's only so much you can prune before you have to wait for the tree to grow up and grow back again. And if you focus on your entire thing on referral marketing, you're going to really suck those trees dry, and they're never going to regrow again.
Exactly. And again, with referrals, there's always the give and the take.
Yep.
So as they give, what are you giving back?
Right.
And are you providing resources to them? Not just good service.
Right.
You have that giver mentality of, if you're going to help me, how am I helping you? And it might not be a referral. It might be a networking event. It might be a group that you're a part of. It might be someone who knows someone who's just a center of influence. So just making sure that you're always giving helps water that referral tree.
Absolutely love it there. Hey, you've got 53 seconds left, Mike. You can do some promo time, ask me a question, talk about the weather, whatever you want, go.
Well, what I'll say is anyone who's listening is I offer free training every single month. So at the beginning of COVID, we went 100% virtual, and I did a couple pro bono things, and I just kind of kept it on the calendar moving forward. So if anyone's interested in attending them, you'll learn 3 things. You'll learn the psychology of prospecting. We'll do a little bit of problem solving, and then you'll have some tangible takeaways for stalls and objections. So if that sounds interesting, connect with me on LinkedIn. Check out my website, Michael Castiglione at Sandler.com. And just say, hey, heard you on Bob Clark's session, 808, because it looks like Bob.
Yep.
And I'll send you the RSVP for that month's event.
Perfect. You pulled it off. 4 questions in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Why is it 8 minutes and 8 seconds, Mike?
Because 808 looks like Bob, my friend.
Exactly. You did it there. Hey, your website, say it real quick.
Michael Castiglione at Sandler.com.
It's in the description. It's magic. Michael, thank you so much for being on. Tip of the hat to you.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome. And for everyone else watching or listening, I'm legally required to tell you to like, share, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, whatever the heck the social media network tells you all to do. You all have a good day now. Talk to you later. Bye.